So now we have covered tenant, subscription and resource group. Now let's go to virtual network. This is very, very important. The remaining topics we have virtual network, subnets, NSG, VNet peering, routing, route table. So these are all very important for this today's topic, and you should know, because if you are planning to deploy your Azure Virtual Desktop, you should be very strong enough on these concepts. Otherwise, you'll end up in very difficulties when it comes to troubleshooting or all those things. So virtual network, it is a boundary in Azure cloud to deploy your workloads. Okay. For example, let's say to deploy your VDIs, what you will do first, you will go to the Microsoft and you will get the tenant, right? Then you will create a subscription. I'm only talking about VDI in this example. So this is the VDI subscription you created in the tenant. Okay. Now you have a subscription. So now what is the next step? You need to create a resource group, right? Now you have created a resource group. Now the last step is you need to deploy resources. Okay. So in Azure, you need to have a logical boundary for your resources. Okay. So there comes VNet, virtual network. So virtual network, it will provide you, an option to deploy your resources, in a logical boundary. For example, let's say this is your VNet. You're going to VNet is nothing but a network. In an on-prem term, you will have a VLAN, etc. Right? The same thing, because to deploy your VMs, what you need IP address, right? To communicate. To get the IP address, you need virtual network. Okay, so virtual network is basically allow you to communicate between your virtual machines, on-premise, internet, whatever it is. Okay, so to communicate each other within the infra or outside the infra, you should have a virtual networks. There comes Azure Virtual Network. So Azure Virtual Network, it is a service which will help you to provide IP addresses, etc. for the communication. So to deploy your VMs, first you need to create a VNet, virtual network. So virtual network, it is nothing but you are defining a range of IPs. Okay. So this is very careful. There is in VNet, when you create a VNet, right, you will create something called address space. Address space is nothing but you're providing a address space for your workloads so that they will get the IP address. For example, if you are going to create a VDI for the production, and then you'll create for non-prod, then you'll create for testing, you'll create for SAT or UAT. So let's say you have 4 infrastructure. So you need to deploy VDIs. Okay. For example, they may have 100 VMs VDIs here, 20 VDIs here, 30 VDIs here, again 50 VDIs here, let's say 40 VDI. Okay, so total how much? 100, 20, 150, 190, right? So you need to deploy 190 virtual machines. So it requires 190 IP address, right? So in Azure, so in order to deploy, this 180 VMs, you need 190 IP address. So we need to create an address space. Address space is nothing but it will provide you number of IPs to this virtual network. For example, let's say I'm going to take 10.125.0.0/24. Okay. So now you need to know how to calculate IP address, how many IP address it will give. So there is a formula called 2 to the power n minus 1. 2n is nothing but this 24, right? So you need to minus 32 minus 24. 32 is an octet. For example, any IP address, it will comes in this format, right? So it is represents 888 bits. So total it is 32. So this is the definition for this formula. So you need to subtract your subnet with this 32. So for example, if you do it, how much you will get? 8, right? So n is equal to 8. So now you need to do this math. 2 to the power 8 minus 1, which means 255. So if you use /24, you will get 255 IP address. In the same case, if you use 23, right? So you will get 2 to the power 9 minus 1, which means 512. Okay, 511, I think. So 511. So you, let's say if you wanted to deploy VDAs for 500 users, you need to pick /23. Similarly, if you wanted to deploy 1000 VDAs, you need to pick /22, which will provide you 1023 IP address. So similarly, let's say /26, sorry, /25. /25, it will provide you how much? 128. /26, it will provide 64 IP address. So you guys are clear, right? So this is how we are going to design the network address space for our workloads. So for example, let's say here in this case, I need to deploy 190 VDAs. So I'm going to take 10.125.0.0/24 this address space. Okay. So now I have defined, let's say 10.125.0.0/24. This is the complete address space for this VNet. Now I have defined the complete range. So this is the range it should take to create the VDAs. Now I have another requirement saying that for production I need 100 VDAs, for non-prod I need 20 VDAs, for my testing I need 30 VDAs, for another one which is uh, something else, so which you need 40. So I need to divide this /24 into 4 chunks. You can see here, right? First, production I need 100 IP address. It means I need to take like this 10.125.0.0/25. /25, I told you it will give you 120 IP address. So the IP address will start from 10.125.0.0 till 10.125.0.128. Okay, so I have created one chunk. Okay, out of this big chunk, I have separated one portion. This is called subnet. Similarly, my next requirement is 20 VDAs I need. For deploy 20 VDAs, what I will do, I will take IP address next to 128. So it means my non-prod will have 10.125.0.128. It means it will come till 127. Okay, sorry. So from 128 I will take slash how much it is a 20, right? So it means /28, I believe. Okay, so if I say 28, 32 minus 28 is 4, 2 to the power 4 minus 1, 8, I think it is 16. Okay, I'll get 15. I think I need to take /27 so that I will get at least 32. Okay, so now let's say 27 means 2 to the power 5 minus 1. So it means 32 minus 1 is equal to 31, right? So I'll get 31 IP address. So the IP address will start from 10.125.0.128 till the next 31, which is 10.125.1. Maybe 38, 48, 155 something. So I'm not going to put it in the exact count. So you got my point, right? So it will take another 31 IP address. So now we have taken 128 here. We have taken 32 here. So it means 122 and 132. So how much it is? 160, I believe. So we have taken 160 IP address already. So still, if you go to the first point where we have 256, right? So 256 minus 160, still we have somewhere around 90 IP address free. So still we can divide this 90 into smaller chunks. So dividing the entire subnet, for example, a big chunk which is called address space, and then we are dividing it into a smaller chunks which we are referring it as subnet. Subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3, subnet 4, subnet 5. Okay, so this is about subnets.